Throughout history, dolls have been a beloved part of childhood, but some dolls seem to carry a darker energy. Stories of haunted dolls have captivated paranormal enthusiasts, sparking curiosity and fear alike. In the video, we are going to discuss about 6 of the most terrifying dolls in the USA that have been associated with eerie occurrences and paranormal activity. Number 1. The Chilling Tale of Robert the Doll, Key West, Florida. If you've ever been to Key West, Florida, you might have heard whispers about a peculiar and terrifying doll named Robert. Sitting behind glass at the Fort East Martello Museum, this century-old doll has a reputation that sends chills down the spine of even the bravest visitors. But what makes Robert so special and so feared? Robert's story begins in the early 1900s when he was given as a gift to a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto, often called Gene. Some say the doll was a birthday present from Gene's grandfather, while others claim it was a handmade voodoo doll from a disgruntled servant. Either way, from the moment John received Robert, strange things began to happen. John adored Robert, treating him as a real companion. He talked to him, took him everywhere, and even blamed him for mischievous acts around the house. At first, his parents thought it was just an overactive imagination, until they started hearing a deep, eerie voice responding to John. They also noticed that furniture would move on its own, giggles would echo through empty halls, and neighbors swore they saw Robert peering out of the windows when no one was home. Even after Gene grew up and became an artist, he kept Robert close. When John inherited his childhood home, he gave Robert his own room in the attic. However, locals claimed they could still see the doll moving on its own. Gene's wife, Anne, reportedly despised Robert and felt an overwhelming sense of unease whenever she was near him. After John passed away in 1974, Robert was donated to the Fort East Martello Museum, where he remains to this day. But the hauntings didn't stop. Museum staff and visitors report cameras malfunctioning, strange orbs appearing in photos, and an unsettling feeling of being watched. One of the most famous legends about Robert is his ability to curse those who disrespect him. Visitors who mock or take pictures without asking often find themselves plagued by bad luck, accidents, or misfortune. The museum even displays letters from people who have written apologies to Robert, begging for his forgiveness. Number 2. Annabelle. If you've ever watched the Conjuring movies, you might think you know Annabelle, but the real story is even creepier. Unlike the porcelain doll in the films, the real Annabelle is actually a Raggedy Ann doll, soft and innocent looking, but said to be possessed by something far from friendly. Annabelle's story begins in the 1970s when a young nursing student named Donna received the doll as a gift from her mother. At first, Annabelle seemed like an ordinary toy, just a cute stuffed doll sitting on the bed. But soon, Donna and her roommate Angie started noticing odd things. The doll would mysteriously change positions, shifting from sitting upright to lying down. Sometimes, they would leave her in one room only to find her in another when they returned home. Then things got even creepier. They found notes written on parchment paper, something they didn't even own, saying things like, "Help me." One night, a friend named Lou, who had always felt uneasy about Annabelle, woke up to find the doll staring at him. He felt paralyzed, unable to move, as the doll crawled onto his chest and began strangling him. Terrified, Donna and Angie sought help from a psychic, who told them that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. Feeling sorry for the spirit, the roommates allowed Annabelle to stay. But the activity grew darker. Scratches appeared on Lou's body, objects moved by themselves, and a sinister presence filled the apartment. That's when Donna contacted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. After studying the case, the Warrens determined that the doll wasn't possessed by a little girl, but by a demonic entity using the name Annabelle to gain sympathy. They took the doll to their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut, where it was locked in a special glass case to prevent further harm. Even today, Annabelle is said to be dangerous. Visitors who mock her or challenge her power have reportedly faced tragic accidents. One well-known story involves a young man who laughed at the doll and later died in a motorcycle crash. Annabelle remains in her glass case with a warning sign, "Positively do not open." Whether you believe in haunted dolls or not, one thing is certain: this is one toy you wouldn't want in your home. Number 3. Mandy the Doll. Mandy the doll might look like an innocent antique, but don't let her cracked porcelain face and delicate Victorian outfit fool you. She has a reputation for being one of the most haunted dolls in North America. Originally from Quesnel, British Columbia, Canada, Mandy now travels for exhibitions in the United States, bringing an eerie presence wherever she goes. Mandy's story begins when she was donated to the Quesnel Museum in 1991. The woman who gave her away claimed the doll was causing strange disturbances in her home. She reported hearing unexplained crying at night, as if a child were sobbing. When she investigated, she would find Mandy sitting in a different position than before. Disturbed by these occurrences, she decided to part with the doll. As soon as Mandy arrived at the museum, strange things started happening there too. Staff noticed objects going missing, only to turn up in odd places later. Lunches disappeared from the fridge, lights flickered, and unexplained footsteps echoed through the halls. Some employees even claimed they felt watched whenever they walked past Mandy's display case. Visitors and museum workers have reported unsettling encounters with Mandy. People say her eyes seem to follow them, and some have captured blurry or distorted images when trying to take her picture. Others claim their electronic devices malfunction around her, as if an unseen energy interferes with them. One of the eeriest stories involves a woman who visited Mandy and later found all the photos on her phone mysteriously deleted. Another time, a museum worker heard faint whispers near Mandy's case when no one else was around. Some guests feel an overwhelming sense of sadness when they stand near her, as if the doll carries emotional weight from the past. Many believe Mandy is haunted by the spirit of a child, possibly one who suffered a tragic fate long ago. Some theories suggest she was once owned by a little girl who died, leaving her spirit attached to the doll. Others think Mandy may be connected to a more mischievous entity that enjoys playing tricks on people. Number 4. The chilling story of Harold the Doll. Harold the Doll might not be as famous as Annabelle or Robert, but many believe he is just as haunted, if not more. With a sinister reputation and a disturbing past, Harold has left a trail of eerie encounters and terrifying experiences for those who dare to get close to him. Harold's story gained attention in the early 2000s when he became the first haunted doll to be sold on eBay. The original seller claimed the doll had caused headaches, back pain, and even unexplained deaths. They described hearing disembodied voices, seeing shadowy figures, and experiencing terrifying nightmares. The listing quickly went viral, sparking curiosity among paranormal enthusiasts. After being passed from owner to owner, the reports of Harold's disturbing activity only grew. Some said they heard a child crying when the doll was near. Others claimed they were scratched or even physically harmed after handling him. A few people who taunted Harold even reported serious health problems shortly afterward. Unlike other haunted dolls, which are often believed to be possessed by the spirit of a child, Harold is thought to be home to something much darker. Paranormal investigators suggest that the doll may contain multiple spirits, or even something demonic. One of Harold's previous owners, Anthony Quintana, conducted extensive research on the doll. He experienced unexplained bruises, mysterious voices, and terrifying visions while keeping Harold in his possession. Anthony even claimed that a psychic told him the doll contained multiple souls, some of whom were suffering, while others were pure evil. People who visit Harold, even from a distance, often report disturbing effects. Some feel intense nausea, sudden headaches, or overwhelming sadness. Others claim that looking into Harold's eyes for too long brings a deep sense of unease, as if something is staring back. There have even been stories of people experiencing bad luck or misfortune after simply viewing a picture of Harold online. Paranormal researchers warn that Harold is not a doll to be taken lightly. His energy is heavy, and those who disrespect him may regret it. Number 5. The haunting legend of the Okiku doll. The Okiku doll is one of Japan's most famous haunted objects, known for its eerie, growing hair and mysterious presence. Though its origins trace back to Japan, paranormal researchers in the USA have studied it for years, trying to uncover the truth behind its unsettling legend. Okiku's story begins in 1918 in Hokkaido, Japan. A young boy named Eikichi Suzuki bought the doll as a gift for his little sister, Okiku. She adored the doll, playing with it every day and treating it as if it were her best friend. Sadly, Okiku passed away suddenly from an illness, leaving her family heartbroken. To honor her, they placed the doll on a small shrine in their home and prayed to it daily. But soon, they noticed something strange. The doll's hair, which had been cut short in a traditional style, seemed to be growing. At first, they thought it was their imagination, but over time, the hair grew longer, reaching past the doll's shoulders. Believing that their daughter's spirit had attached itself to the doll, the family took it to the Menenji Temple in Japan, where it remains to this day. Monks at the temple confirmed that the hair continued to grow, even after being trimmed. Scientists have even tested the hair and found it to be human. However, no one can explain how or why it keeps growing. Although the physical doll remains in Japan, paranormal researchers in the USA have conducted studies on similar cases of haunted dolls, using Okiku as a key example. Some claim that spirits can attach themselves to objects, especially those with sentimental value. Ghost hunters and supernatural experts in America have analyzed videos and reports about Okiku, trying to determine if the doll is truly haunted or if there's a logical explanation for its growing hair. Visitors who have seen Okiku in person often report a strange feeling. Some say they feel watched, while others hear whispers or experience chills when near the doll. The monks continue to care for her, believing that she holds a deep spiritual connection to the past. Number 6. The terrifying story of Peggy the Doll, Las Vegas, Nevada. If you ever come across a picture of Peggy the doll, you might want to think twice before staring at it for too long. This haunted doll is believed to have a powerful, unsettling energy, so strong that just looking at her photo or saying her name can cause headaches, nausea, and even nightmares. Peggy's story first gained attention when paranormal investigator Jane Harris acquired the doll from its previous owner, who claimed Peggy was the cause of severe disturbances in her home. The woman reported strange nightmares, sudden feelings of fear and anxiety, and unexplained illnesses. She even moved houses multiple times, but the eerie experiences followed her everywhere until she decided to get rid of Peggy. Due to her strong paranormal presence, Peggy was eventually placed in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, Nevada. The museum, known for housing some of the world's most cursed and haunted artifacts, considers Peggy one of its most terrifying items. Visitors report feeling uneasy in her presence, and some have even fainted or burst into tears after looking at her. Many believe Peggy is possessed by the spirit of a woman who suffered a tragic fate. Some psychics claim she died from a respiratory illness, which could explain why people near her often report sudden shortness of breath. Whether Peggy is truly haunted or not, one thing is certain: many people who encounter her leave with an unforgettable experience.